Hello, welcome to Coull Discussions. That's Barry. I'm Chris. Today, we read an article, The Glass Coffin by Jim Goad. You can look it up online.
We'll put the description, the link for this article that we're talking about down there, and so you can check it out.
He also has a website that has some really interesting articles. He has definitely a thinking on the right side of the spectrum, that's for sure.
I don't even know what like the right side and the left side of spectrums are. Like when people talk about like left and right thinking, I go, what? What do you mean by that?
Well, okay.
So like left, you were telling me earlier that is like the hippie type people, right? Extremists, hippies.
The left side are the humanists. They're the ones who are free-spirited. Hippies are a good generalization of them. They're the ones who set up. It would be an extreme. Environmentalists would be somebody considered on the left.
Right, the extreme right would be
Christians,
like the
hardcore Catholics, the ones who the Westboro Baptist Church, the ones that go God hates fags signs. Those would be the far right, and an environmentalist who runs into a boat.
Why can't we just be individual thinkers? Anyways, I digress. Back to
that is a very valid point, because we use the words left and right all the time, but unless somebody if you're younger, you don't necessarily know what left and right mean. You just go, okay, somebody's on the right and somebody's on the left. Left of what?
I don't think we should segregate people into how they think.
But
you shouldn't be in a category of, you could believe something like, why can't you believe something on the extreme left and the extreme right and go?
Some people do.
I believe I like both things.
Some people do. It's a classic Pepsi Coke debate. Some people love Pepsi, some people love Coke, and some people like other stuff.
It's a Coke, okay.
Yes. Well, okay. Here's the thing. When you go into a bar, you never go rum and Pepsi. You always go rum and Coke.
Yeah.
And then you go, is Pepsi all right? It's like, whatever. But the terms left and right, people have right thinking. Good examples of right thinking are being fiscal conservative. Making sure that your budget's on time, your budget's correct, you're coming under budget.
Said no government ever.
No, but that's the way the right's supposed to think, right? The right in regards to a political spectrum is also small government and less government control, whereas the left...
more government, more...
cradle to grave aspects. They want to take care of you.
Socialist,
more of a... kind of similar. And communism has its points. It was an interesting concept. However, the execution has always been a little lacking, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Well, now that we've got the little lesson of left and right out of the way, I had an idea what it was, but I've never fallen into a left-right mentality. I've been I think this way because I don't, that's what I think is right in my brain. Yeah,
and the people that think along your lines is the reason why we classify people into left and right. Generally, people don't think entirely left, entirely right. They tend to think in the middle, in the center. So that's why political parties... in Canada, Liberals would be left, NDP would be far left, Conservatives would be right, but they always have to aim for the middle, because all those people in the middle is where your biggest congregation of votes. So, if you have 100 people, 60, 70 people tend to be in the middle, whereas 15 on this side, 15 on this side. So obviously, you can't win an election if you only have 15 people and 15 people. You need that.
Well, if 70 people don't vote, you can win. Doesn't matter.
That's an entirely different thing.
Good old democracy. Anyways, we digress. Back to this article a little bit.
Yeah.
And this article was it is about a lot about feminism.
Yeah.
And how feminine. To me, it was a little bit of a satire, tongue-in-cheek kind of article. Like I kind of took that out of it. It wasn't. Excuse me. Obviously, if you were a feminist reading it, you would probably get offended because of the stance that they're taking. This gentleman who wrote this article was saying that, in a sense, to boil it all down, it is that feminists want. I believe it's more of a modern day feminist. Yeah. Modern day feminism is more of a we want equal rights as long as it benefits us.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is that feminists want equal pay, equal all this, but they don't want the equality. And his example was like death on the jobs, right? 90% of deaths are men
in the workplace, but women account for 43% of the work hours. So it was broken down to how many hours are worked. 57% is male, 43% is female. However,
90% of the deaths are men. Because we work at the jobs that are more dangerous, obviously.
And he went on to mention that out of all the dangerous jobs, 90% of the field are men. So, for example, fishing, like crab fishing, as you might have seen on...
This is how I look at feminism. This is how I see like a modern day feminist, right? Let's use crab, because this is a good
crab
example.
Fishing, yeah.
Okay, so you got we've all seen Deadliest Catch, where you're in the Bering Sea in the fucking shit weather.
Yeah.
It storms, and then you got like the commercial fishermen down in the south, right?
Yep.
Very calm, Now, a feminist logic is this. The fishermen in the south, in Florida, say, should get paid exactly the same as the fishermen up north. They don't do the same, because they do the same job, because they're fishing, but they're not doing the same job. These guys up here in the north are doing a dangerous job, and they should be paid accordingly.
Yep.
These guys over here, it's dangerous. Yes, you can have storms, hurricanes, whatever. It's still dangerous, but let's be honest, it's not as dangerous. Yeah, so they shouldn't be paid the same, even though they do the same job. They're in the same industry, but they don't do the same job. You know what I mean? If you want to make $100,000 in 3 months or whatever, a crab fisherman, go be a crab fisherman. Yeah. Go risk your life every day catching those crab.
But the thing is, high pay, there's a chance that you might not survive.
That's right. And the guy in this article was saying that pretty much, hey, women, you guys want to then come take the equal chance of getting crushed by heavy machinery, heavy this, heavy that, all like put yourself in in combat in this and that and stuff like that. Now, my thinking is this, if you're capable of doing the job, do it. If you're a fire person, look at me being politically right, fireman, right?
Yep.
No offense, I'm a pretty hefty guy. I'm about 300 pounds. If my house is burning down, I'm unconscious. I want the big heart, big muscular 250 pound strong man come to pick my ass up, not the
150
200 pound strong woman come to pick me up. She might have a harder problem.
But okay, here's the thing. This is an example of feminism, and I personally think this is an example of feminism gone wrong. In police forces and firemen forces, they used to have a set standards in which a person would have to achieve minimum standards that they would have to achieve to be able to become a fireman or a policeman. So for a policeman, there's an obstacle course. You have to do it in under a certain amount of time, under lifting weights, things like that. Firemen, same thing. You have to be able to lift a certain amount of
criteria.
Weight. There's a criteria. And because of this criteria, generally men only ever got into it. Now, because of feminism, these criterias have been lowered.
To jig the standards, and now...
So women can have a better shot to get in. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is not what feminism is meant for. The reason why these standards were set is because, as he was saying, we're hefty men. If a fireman comes in here, he better be able to lift me.
Yeah, he better be able to
because dragging my ass isn't going to get them out of a burning building quickly. It's going to get 2 people killed instead of 1.
That's right.
And that's a horrible thing. standards are there for a reason. I think even in the military there was something about this as well. Again, I if I have a soldier, I want him to be able to carry 50 pounds on his back. The steel plates that he uses for armor on the shirts and stuff like that. You know, if a woman can do it and she can pass this criteria in, who cares that she's a woman?
Yeah.
She passed the test. And that's all that matters. This test is supposed to be there for a reason so that everybody is safe. We don't want to lower standards just because we want to be politically correct. No, it's not the way it's supposed to work. At least in my mind, it's not the way it should be working.
No, I agree 100%. You know, there shouldn't be, you know, if there's a standard, if I'm a, you know, a business owner and I want to hire people and I hire all white men, it's because that's what I want to hire. It's not because they're the best qualified for the job that I have to offer.
Both me and you have hired people, correct?
Yeah.
Well, we've hired and fired people. We've been in the business. Now, out of, say, 100 applicants, how many of them would be of a minority group?
I have no idea. I never kept track of your skin color or your gender or anything like that.
I wasn't saying gender, but just
I look at your resume.
Did you have people that you interviewed actually sat? Sorry, yes. You can base certain things off of a name instead of. I'm talking about people that actually sat.
How many
face to face?
I have no idea. I can't remember. Like I can't.
Okay.
Like I can't sit there and put a number on it because it doesn't. That's not something I look at. I notice it, but it's not like a main thing in my brain. I just, I hire you when I hired people, it was based on your personality. It was based on who you are as a person.
Yeah.
When I had a conversation with you, if you could talk and we had fluid conversation, it was good. But if it was awkward and I didn't care if you were pink, purple, black, had stud earrings, I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I can say a little otherwise. Is like, I found that most of the people that I ended up interviewing were white, you know, and the fact that I ended up hiring more white people was simply because I had more white people coming in. I hired black people, I hired Chinese people, I hired women. I didn't care who you were as long as you fit my qualifications.
I just think you can take any kind of stat out there or information and you can skew it to make your side of the argument seem like it's correct and it's right, and to make it make sense. So you have to take everything and go, okay, you have to listen to that feminist, that extreme feminist, and you have to go, okay, you do make some points, and then you have to take the other opposite side and go, well, you do make some points, and you go, but now let's come in the middle and let's figure something out.
Another great example is that the stat that women make 77 cents on the dollar that men make. Think about it. You viewers out there that are listening or watching, do you work with women? Yes, no. If it's yes, do they make the same amount of money that you do based off of equality? So if you've both been there the same amount of time, both doing the same job, are you making more money than she is? In which case, there's certain laws out there that actually
that's what I don't
work
understand,
for you in that.
If you were in a position where a company is treating you where you don't think it's equal, there is labor laws, but why would you want to be with that company? Why would you want to force this company to make you an equal? Wouldn't you just be like, maybe I'm not as valued as a person. Maybe I should go find other work.
Okay. Work is always a really difficult thing to do. If you have a job that pays decent, gives you your vacations, pays overtime, it's the work field can be rather crowded sometimes.
Yeah.
I know in Alberta right now, it's horrible looking for a job. If you have to find a job in Alberta, I feel for you.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lower your standards for one.
That's right.
And then
it's like when you're looking for something to eat, you go to the fridge, and then you close it, lower your standards, open it again, then you'll find something.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. You have to. There are laws that state that are against these things, inequality, but I've never worked with a woman that's made less money than me based off of our experience.
I don't even like that. Doesn't even like cross my mind that person would make less money or more money than me because of our gender.
Yeah. Now the reason why that stat exists, a good example of turning a stat against you, is that is based off of CEO pay. So a male CEO is going to make $100 million a year, and a female CEO is only going to make 20. Well, obviously, there's a slight discrepancy there. And
I think there's another discrepancy where there's been a few, like, in sports, right? And like, I know that in tennis, I believe, it was one of the big tennis opens, the prize pool in the men's draw was bigger than the one in the women's. And one of the top tennis stars, I think it was Serena Williams, or one of them, said that this needs to change. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to force me. I look at it this way. Okay, I can see your point of view. I can understand where you look at it and think it's unfair. I look at it this way and go, okay, if I'm a promoter, an advertiser, I look at it and go, who draws more? If you both draw and can, if you can charge the same ticket prices for men and women, and you can draw the same advertising rates, the same rating numbers, everything, if they're all equal, then the prize pool should be equal.
Actually, my counterpoint right to that is, correct me if I'm wrong, but in men's tennis, you have 5 sets.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you play longer, yeah. It's 5 sets to 3.
5, and women's you play 3.
Yeah.
So
Longer
if
matches.
Women want equality, they should start playing 5.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what
then
I mean. What
their pool
sports
should be...
What sport draws more? The same with soccer. Women's U.S. soccer was like, well, the men got a bonus or something. They get more money for a win than we do, right? And it's like, well, you got to look at what draws more. You know what I mean? It's like if I have a business and I'm like, oh, you know, this person, you know, I have 2 salespeople, one's male, one's female, and my male one is bringing in more sales than my female, then
I should pay him more?
I'm going to give him more bonuses. I'm going to give him, obviously, I'm going to reward him for his work.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing in stuff for me. But and same with the woman. It doesn't matter. If you're bringing in more, then I'm going to pay you more. You know what I mean? I think sometimes, I feel like sometimes inequality is almost created.
Yeah.
By the people. I think it's almost like it's like racism, kind of. It's like the first thing that people jump to is I'm being
oppressed.
Yes, I'm being oppressed. Thank you for the word. I'm being oppressed because of this. When it's just the world. You know, it's just the way business is, or sometimes the way things happen. Okay, before you jump all over me and be like, this really happens, I know it does. I know oppression happens.
At no point in time are we saying racism and inequality don't exist. They do. Right now, by comparison to any other age, we have a system in place to help equality happen. And you know what? As he's saying, it's like if you work for a company and they're not paying you the same as a man, even though you're been there the same amount of time and doing the exact same job. Well, one, do you want to continue working for that company? Yes, it can be difficult to find another job. And if it is difficult, you know what? Go to the labor.
Yeah, if it is, yeah, definitely. If you think it's that problem, then you need to take the right channels to get it.
There are labor laws.
Yeah.
There are human rights laws that prevent businesses from doing this. And you know what? If that's what it needs to be done, do it.
But to force a business owner or a business to do something, to me, isn't right. It shouldn't be a forced issue. If I want to hire, it doesn't matter who I want to hire. If I own a business, I can hire whoever I want.
Yeah.
As long as I'm within the laws. I don't need to have a certain amount of women on my crew or whatever because people want equality. And it's like, well, no, I'm going to hire the best people for the job. I'm going to hire what I feel that I need to succeed. We touched on it a little bit last week. Was it in headlines or something? We were talking about Captain America and how LGBTQ wants Captain America to have
the hashtag
have
Captain
a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this is where I think like it's a little bit extreme. Okay? Because they felt that they're not represented in these movies, right? Yeah. Now, to me, Captain America is not a sexuality battle.
No.
It's about Captain Damn America whooping ass.
Yeah.
fighting Iron Man or whatever he's doing in the new one. I have no idea.
To be honest, having any kind of romance happen in superhero movies
just makes no sense.
It takes be a little forced.
Yeah.
Actually.
Hey, Captain America, you just saved the world. Now what? Meet my boyfriend. What? What?
If he said, "I'm going to Disneyland," totally understandable. But saying, "Oh, meet my boyfriend." We didn't ask you about your boyfriend.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weird that people would. Now, I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. I don't know how big of the hashtag was, how much steam it actually got, but that's just an example of, I think, when people taking
politically correctness going awry.
Yeah, when it's a little bit too extreme, I think it needs to just calm down a little bit. Yes, we need to be politically correct, but at the same time, we're all entitled to our opinions and our views.
I don't know if we need to. Yes, we need to be careful about how things come out of our mouths sometimes, but being politically correct just gives rise to people taking advantage of it.
But we just need to not be butthurt. We gotta
we have to have a thicker skin.
We gotta have a little bit of a thick skin. We're growing up. We're breeding a generation of coddled individuals,
pansies.
And it's like, the world isn't that way. You know what I mean? The world is a harsh place, and you're gonna get your feelings hurt. You're gonna get your ego hurt. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get what you want all the time, and it's like, pick your battles. Is your battle to have Captain America have a boyfriend? Is that something you want to die on? I don't know. It's just weird to me.
My thought for that was just make Iron Man gay, bisexual. Make him bisexual. He's always been the flamboyant one. He's been the diva. If anybody's gay or partly gay,
that's a stereotype right there.
Yes, you're right. It is a stereotype. However, Captain America has never struck me as someone who would ever.
I don't even think about Captain America. When I watch the Marvel movies, I'm not like, God, I wonder if he's gay. I wonder who he's banging on his free time. No, I watch it and go, okay.
That was interesting.
It was
it was a waste of a perfectly good villain, but it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. But this article I think was very tongue in cheek. Back to the article a little bit. It was very tongue in cheek. It was very kind of I think
almost satire.
Yeah.
But when satire is done correctly, it shows a point.
He did make a point of, which I agree with, that a lot of people in the battle for equality want equality when it's beneficial.
Yeah.
Not across the board.
No.
It's like, but here again, what we said before in a previous show, we're a couple of middle-aged white men who.
We are the establishment.
We are the privileged ones. So, maybe we're completely out to lunch on this. Who knows? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
On our Facebook page, give us a like. Give us a follow on the Twitters.
Subscribe on YouTube, on iTunes. You can listen or watch. Your choice. We don't care. And,
have a great one, guys.
Yeah. See you
Peace.
later.